again and welcome back. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. Today is Full Deck Challenge Day and we are going on to card number 17 and the prompt is for blending. And I've had a very eventful day today. Lots of issues with filming. So I do have to apologise about some of the lost footage, but let's have a little look at what I have. I had to carry forward an element out of last week's card with Dawn, and you can see here that in the background there was some grid paper and it was a scrapbook paper. So I carried that forward and I put it on the back of the card, and I also put it on the front of the card as well. And you can see that I have mounted the back of the card and put some washi tape on and stamped it with today's date, the 7th of May. So this is where it gets interesting. This morning very early I stamped some cakes and I decided I was going to do some colour blending with pencils. I love colour rendering with pencils, and maybe that's because I did a lot of colour rendering on architectural documents, and perspective drawings and things like that when I was working as a designer. So I stamped some cakes and then I did some colour rendering with pencil, and then I blended them out, and I used my Prismacolor pencils, and I also used the Derwent blender pens, which are excellent. If you don't have them, they're a great investment. They're a little bit expensive, but they're worth the money if you like using colour pencils. I downloaded that footage, which I have to show you, and then I decided to put the card together. And I set the camera going and off we went, and I had a lovely time chatting away, telling you stories about cake and the things that I like and so on and so on. Well, then I downloaded the video and the whole video is out of focus because the autofocus was switched off or having an issue on the phone. I must have bumped it and a setting and didn't realise. So I would love to show you the footage of that. However, I know that there's no point because you can't see anything. Everything's out of focus. So I'll go back and show you the footage of rendering the cake, and then I'll come back and I'll show you our finished card. I'll see you soon. The stamp I'm using is All in Create and it's number 644 and it's called Smooth Tooth. And I'm actually going to be using this cake here. It's a slice of cake and it looks like it's a blueberry cheesecake to me. I think I'm going to mask out some of the writing and draw in the fine lines by hand. So let's do that. I'm also going to colour render it with my Prismacolors, and I have Derwent blender pens that I'm using to do the blending. So let's get started and we'll do some stamping. Okay, so what I just did then was I masked out the words. It says home is where the cake is. Okay, I've selected my colours. So I've got these ones here for the cheesecake. I've got this range of purpley blue into blue blacks for the blueberries, and I've got some greens for the leaves. So we'll get started. I'll probably do the cake base first. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that music and the sped up version of the rendering. So here's our cake. Our focal point is the most delicious looking blueberry cheesecake you've ever seen. I think that it might even have a little bit of citrus in it because I love citrus cheesecake. The stamp that I used to stamp this cake was the All and Create number 644 Sweet Tooth. You can see that it's stamped quite nicely. And then I have put it on top of a doily, a white doily, because sometimes when we buy cake, you get it served to you on a doily. I'm not sure why, but actually it's a very European thing to do. And then in the background behind that, I have put it onto a blue die cut circle. And it's a decorative circle, and it was cut out of a paint swatch because you can see that I had to use a paint swatch because that's my constant. Now in the background here, you can also see that I used some more of that scrapbook paper, and it's down the bottom and goes up behind the cake. And then I have tissue paper at the top, but I've also ink blended from the bottom all the way to the top, and I used a blue of two different colors of blue ink, and then I finished it with Lost Shadow gray at the top and just blended that in an ombre kind of a thing. Not that you can see much of it, but that's what I did. And I've also put some blue ink all the way around the edge of the card just to make it pop a little bit. Now up the top here, you can see also that I've got order number 26 because this was the order for the cake, and I've stamped it for 15 cents. Wouldn't you love it if you could buy blueberry cheesecake for 15 cents a slice? You would be buying it multiple times in the day. Now I found for those stamps at the top there, the order number 26 and the 15 cents I got from this stamp set, Stampers Anonymous Titbits from Tim Holtz. I also put on it you can see also that the Ace of Spades is there and the aristocrat name of the cards. I liked that. I thought that that would be good going around the eyelet. Then you can see I've got some florals tucked in the back there. Those florals have got sort of embossing treatment on them, and they're from Paper Rose Studios, and it's the Bees and Butterflies collection, and these are the embossed die cuts. And I've actually done quite a lot of different projects with that. So if you're interested in seeing more of those, have a look on my channel under Paper Rose Studios. There's lots of videos. And then to finish it all off and brighten it up, you can see that I have put some white splatters on it. And the sentiment is from Tim Holtz, Small Talk. A party without cake is just a meeting. And how true is that? If you go to a party, you're expecting cake, some kind of cake. Doesn't matter what sort of cake, cupcakes, a birthday cake, whatever cake. In saying that, I think every meeting should have a cake anyway. Like if you're having a work meeting, you should have cake. There's my card for today, and I'm happy with how it turned out, and I am very disappointed actually that I didn't manage to get the video for you to see. However, in playing with my phone for hours and doing this video now that I'm doing again, this is the 7th time I've attempted this. I have now figured out a whole heap of settings on my phone I didn't know that I had. So there's always a silver lining. There's our card for this week, and we'll add that to the pack. We've got a bit of a theme going on here. We've got food, a few different food cards. We've got people. We've got critters, quite a few different types of critters. And we have flowers. So there we go. Hopefully you liked the card today. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And hopefully for the next video, all goes very well. And I will see you very soon for card number 18. We're ticking along, aren't we? We're getting to almost to halfway. And the great news is I've caught up, which is wonderful. So thanks again, and bye for now.